Hi, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you had a restful, relaxing spring break. It's always a neat time of the year, I think, as we kind of round the corner from winter and heading into the stretch run of the school year. Obviously, the stretch run at times is more stressful and strenuous than any other time of the year. And so I hope you had an opportunity over the break just to relax and rest and get kind of rejuvenated. My purpose today is just really twofold, and I'm going to be brief because I know people's time is precious. First, we have seen and heard and read quite a bit, I think, recently about potential legislation that, although it isn't articulated this way, I think in many ways paints public education, public educators in a very negative light. My belief is that what you do on a daily basis is absolutely foundational to the success of our country. And I know that's like, oh my gosh, the success of our country, but it truly is. When we talk about what our founding fathers wanted out of our system of democracy, one of the core principles is that in order to have an effective democracy, you have to have an educated electorate. And so in order to do that, we had to have an educational system that said, no matter where you are in our country, no matter who you are in our country, if you work hard, if you choose to participate in a quality public educational system, you can be a valid, active member in our democracy. You can have an opportunity to gain resources, both personally and professionally, that no other individual around the world in your situation would be able to. And I think, for the most part, we as public educators have done a masterful job over the course of history protecting what was designed to be a foundational principle of our country. But I just think it's important that we stop for a minute and recognize that we do what is critically important to the success of our country, and what you do every single day is extremely appreciated, not just by myself, but by our governing board, but by our community. The second piece is, I know that when we get into the spring, people start wanting to talk about contracts and budget. And, I think I've been very clear over the years that we're not out of the financial woods yet. Although we've worked really hard to get out of the financial woods, we're still in a stuck spot. Our average daily membership is down this year again. Not as much as it had been in years previous, which is a good thing. Remember, we talked about how, we would probably level off and then have kind of a zero growth and then in the future start growing again. And we're seeing that trend, but we're still declining. The state most likely will fund something towards public education, but not nearly what it should be. And so as a result, those two things kind of balance each other off. So what that means is that in order to try to be as resourceful as we can, we're having to look very hard at what our budget is and what our resources are. But what I can tell you is the governing board is very aware of the situation that we're in as it relates to the financial realities we face in our personal lives. And so our governing board is working very hard to be fair, not just to a group, but to all groups within the organization. Fair in its compensation, fair in its approach to health care. It's not an easy situation that we're in, but I suspect that when it's all said and done, our governing board will work hard to give some sense of increase, whether that's an additional addenda or a base increase, I don't know, and work really hard to offset, if not necessarily just negate, any healthcare cost increase. And although I wish it was much more than that, certainly right now the situation we're in makes even that very difficult. What I would also encourage is that if we're in a situation next November in which our governing board is asking our community to support us because the state isn't fully funding us, then I would encourage all of us who are a part of the organization at that time to work aggressively towards getting the message out about what we do and how what we do is so important to the community, so that we can be sitting in a situation this time next year potentially where our financial realities are very different than what they've been for the past 5 years. So as we kind of round the corner into spring, we know we have testing, we know we have finals, we know we have promotion, we know we have graduation. I just wanted to say thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a public educator or working in public education, and let you know that our governing board is working really, really hard to find financial solutions that are fair to all of the employees, not only now, but trying to position us to be in a spot this time next year where potentially that financial picture becomes even more beneficial to us. If you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you sometime in the near future. Thanks.